Hi there, Jackie
And Kathleen,
your math,
and reading coach.
here to talk to you today about the iRead Diagnostic 1 test. So there is no stress for the test. So we wanted to go over a few bullet points of your do's and don'ts about the iRead test. And the first thing that we want to talk about is logging into the computers. You need to make sure that you are logging in using the iRead and password login. Students are not to use the 1941 student login. They need to go through that portal.
Absolutely. And also just want to make sure that the passwords for the students are all set already so that when they are able to log in, they know their password and that it's all set. So you may want to have a sheet of their passwords for you to be able to reference, or somehow make sure that they have their password set, and then also they know their password so that when they sit down to log in to iRead, it's flawless, no stress, they can just get right on.
If you have any troubles with that, you can email myself or Deanna in the Media Center, and we can help get those passwords for you.
Absolutely.
Also, the iRead cards that are on the iRead website do not work as the passwords. Those are not through the Clever, that's through iRead login, so don't print out the login cards from iRead. So if you're gonna make cards, you probably have to make them because they're the Clever passwords.
So we're dealing with a little bit of a time crunch because you aren't able to log into iRead as of right now, right? But the nice thing about, you wanna, on Monday morning or the morning, before the morning of your test, log into your account and just double check your roster to make sure all your students are on there. And if not, then email Troy right away. But this year they're feeling like it's a flawless system. We'll see if it's really flawless, right? But it's a better system because of the way that the students have been populated and are going to be automatically assigned to their diagnostics. So we don't have to create any instructional groups for them on our end. That's a lot easier.
Kathleen sent out a PowerPoint on internal. Make sure you view that with your students. It's going to help them be prepared and know what to expect when they log onto the computer. We also know clearly from last year that they get questions that are way hard and above their grade level, and they get stressed out and say, I don't know this, I didn't learn this. We want to make sure that they know that that's because they're answering so many questions right. So the harder it is, the better they're doing. So we want to keep reminding them that and just to keep trying their best. So make sure you view the PowerPoint with your class prior to taking the test.
Absolutely. And then when you as a teacher see those questions coming up, I know sometimes in our mind, like, we're frustrated with what they're even seeing. But the kids go off our reaction as well too, right? So when you're seeing that, even though you might be thinking in your mind, like, this is way too hard, just don't let them know that at all. Just smile, try your best, right? Also make sure that your students have paper and pencil, the blank sheet, ready for them to use for their work paper, for reading and for math.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people were questioning that too about reading, but we saw so many kids do awesome sketchnoting and writing things down for reading. It was awesome to see what they did with the paper, so please make sure you have that available to them. Remind students that, we already talked about that, that the test is adaptive. It's going to get harder and easier.
Oh, this is exciting. You're going to love this. Okay, so the new dashboard. I already had a makeover over the summer. The dashboard is going to look a lot different, and you're going to love the changes. So when you're first able to log in, probably Monday, you're going to want to go on and check that out. But no worries, it's all easier stuff. So if you're testing right away, it's user-friendly. But the great thing about the diagnostic part of that is on your dashboard, it says diagnostic over in the first kind of tab that you can click. It has your diagnostic tab there, and you will be able to see in real time your class and how they're progressing on the diagnostic. So you don't have to go run around to every computer and say, let me see your progress, let me see your progress, let me see your progress. You can see it all right on your screen, which is great. And also there's an alert for rushing. So that was also a really hard thing to monitor, right? But now it's progressing, monitoring that, and it'll be able to see which students are rushing. And if you see that they're, like, Jackie's rushing, then you're gonna go right over to Jackie and you are going to stop that test. And then you're gonna call Mr. Henson and you're gonna talk and you're gonna let him take care of it from there. Okay, so you can do that right away this time.
So even though you can monitor that, still circulate every once in a while and make sure that the students are focused on the test. If you're taking the test within your classroom, make sure you have your desks arranged so that the students aren't really distracted by others. I know in the intermediate classes, if the students sit kind of across from each other, they can see over the laptop and kind of like make a little faces at each other, or just make sure there's some sort of blockade. And even though it is adaptive and they'll be getting different questions, that, you know, they can't necessarily cheat, but we want to make sure that they stay focused on what's right in front of them. So if you have the blinders, or maybe you want to arrange the desks differently so that way they are just focused on what's in front of them.
And okay,
Now we're
so
on to the don't.
we'll go down to some don'ts. So obviously we're not going to give the whole test in one day, especially diagnostic 1. It's the first one, so it's expected to take the longest, as it's really getting that gauge of where the students are. So use the time that's allotted, and make sure that, you know, you're giving them that focused time so that they're not on too long and then not having the stamina to do their best.
So the older intermediate kids, they say about 40-45 minutes of testing. The younger kids, maybe 30-40 minutes of testing. You don't want to get them too stressed out. Also, do not go in and reset the diagnostic yourself. You have to contact Mr. Henson right away if you think that. And we're really lucky that iReady has adapted that, so that way we can physically see while they're taking the test they're rushing. So like Kathleen said earlier, don't reset the test if they're rushing. You need to talk to Mr. Henson, because Nicole Binder has some protocols for the resets.
All right, and just any of your ESE students, then you're going to touch base with your ESE teacher. Ms. Jefferson is getting with them to talk about the best setting for them. Most of our students are going to be in your group, in your class, in a small group within the class. But again, that's going to be a student by student decision, and Ms. Jefferson is helping to make those decisions.
Also, we're going to send out this tips to do your best poster that you can display in your classroom, and kind of have this as a positive reinforcement for kids that we know it might be hard, but you guys are awesome and you guys will do fine, and show what you know.
And also, I just want to give one quick reminder about VAM. So if your iReady is being used for VAM, just remember it's not measuring diagnostic 1 to diagnostic 3. Okay, and it's not even really measuring straight scores from their end of the year diagnostic from last year to their end of the year diagnostic of this year. Okay, so VAM is like a whole separate world, but just know that there's no pressure for them to do any certain way on this diagnostic because of VAM. They're not looking at progress from here until the end of the year for VAM.
And kindergarten, we will be trying to meet with you guys separately to go over specific things, and maybe even first grade, of how you can get your kids ready for a computer-based test. So we're going to get with you guys soon.
And remember, we're all in this together. When things come up, call the office right away, and we will work through it. We'll solve any problems together. We hope that this video saved you a meeting. So that was the purpose of this.
iReady, is you ready?